Hello students, how are you? I think all you're fine at your home. Yes. So students, today we are going to begin with a new lesson. So here we have a lesson 5. What is moral action? So students, let's begin with this new lesson here. Okay students, what you are getting, what is moral actions? The name of the topic we have here. Okay, and it is written by M.K. Gandhi. Okay, who written this extract? It is written by our father of nation, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Okay, the writer of this extract is M.K. Gandhi ji. So he is the father of our nation. Everyone knows very well. Yes, he wrote this beautiful extract for us, okay, which is there on your textbook. So here students, what do you mean by a word moral and what do you mean by the word immoral? An action which is done by us, an action which we are performing daily without any intention is called moral action. Everyone doing some another kind of action, activity, work, okay, and indulging in another kind of task. If that task, action, activity or a work don't have any immoral or moral thing, then it is useless. Here a moral action says to an action, if we are doing something great for the society and we don't accept anything back for our own gain, for our own upliftment, for our own need, then that action is called a moral action. If an action we are doing in our daily life for the intention of money, for an intention of gaining our status, for an intention of grasping something for our own upliftment, is that action is called immoral action. So students, today we are going to learn about moral action and immoral action. So here moral action have several meaning along with immoral action. So let's begin with this. So students, everyone open your textbook. Here we have our extract on the page number 73. Open it and be with this lesson where I am reading, so it is better for you for a better understanding. So students, before beginning with the lesson, let's read it out, the 6 main moral teaching of the Mahatma Gandhi ji. So what this main moral teaching tells us here. So here let's begin with the first. So here we have 6 main moral lesson from Gandhi ji. So what is the first one taught us? First, your belief become your thought. Your belief become your thought. Is it? What we think for others, what we think for ourselves, or what we think for family, for neighbors, for siblings and for our relatives, it is our thought. The thinking is our thought. The belief is our thought. We having a belief on our teachers. If our teachers teach us nicely, then we are going to score better in exam. And teacher having a belief on our students. Yes, our students understood this concept nicely and they are going to score better marks in their exam. Teacher having a belief on their students, student having a belief on their teacher, then only we will have a good thought of scoring good marks. Then only you have a good thought of learning something good from your teacher. So this is differentiation in between belief and thought. So here the first principle of the moral the Gandhiji teaching us is your belief become your thought. Understood? Now what happens to your thought? Your thought become your words. So this is the second teaching of the moral action by Gandhiji. What it is? Your thought become your words. Whatever you think, whatever you examine by yourself or analyze by yourself, okay, in your own heart, okay, it is your own words. Whatever you are speaking with your elders, with your smallers, with your youngsters, okay, with your family, with your parents, or with your siblings, even with your relatives, whatever you are speaking in this world is nothing but it is your own thought. If you think good for the society, you speak good for the society. If you think something irrelevant to the society, then you are speaking the same what you think for the society or to your friends. So here the second principle of the moral action, the Gandhiji is starting us, your thought become your words. Understood? Now comes to third principle of the moral action according to the Gandhiji. Here third we have, your words become your action. Whatever you thinking is the words, and your words become your action. If you are going to speak something good, then it means that you are going to do something good for the society in this nation or in this life. So what you are speaking, the same you are going to do. If you are speaking good and not doing good thing, then it is no any use. So and nothing any good is coming out from this teaching. So you have to teach better for a betterment of the society, for a better work, which is the outcome of yours or me or of the whole universe. Understood? Now comes to the fourth principle of the Gandhiji's teaching according to a moral action. So here, your action become your habit. If you think good belief, then good thought will come out. If you think good thought, good words will come out. If you speak good words, good action will come out. If you do good action, then what happens? If we do good action, your action become your habits. That action is going to become our day-to-day habits. Then we are not going to indulge any bad whims or any cruel whims. Then we are going to do something good whims in our life. That action will becomes our good habits. Is it? Okay, all right. So here, what happens to the habit? It is mentioned in the fifth principle of the Gandhiji's moral action. Your habit become your values. Whatever you doing action, it becomes your habit, and that habit you are doing daily, and that is appreciated by many number of peoples, then it will become our values side by side. And it values is considered that that person having such a great value and he is going to do something great in his life, then people start saying about you like this. Okay, then what happens? Your habit become your values. Is it? Okay, now comes to sixth principle of the moral teaching of Gandhiji's. What it tells? Your values become your destiny. If you having a good action, then it converts to a good habits. If you are having a good habits, then it converts to a good value. If you having good values and you are going in the same way, a time comes you are going to grasp a good destiny in your life. So students, this is all about a good thing you are going to do in your life. Now students, let's begin with the lesson. What is there in between the moral action or in between immoral action? So students, before rubbing this board, write it down 6 moral principle according to the Gandhiji, and it is very important for the upliftment and the growth of our personality. Write it down in your fair notebooks, and it is the very good thing, and this thing should be followed by you every day in your life. So students, let's begin with the lesson we have. Okay, fine. So everyone open your textbook, and here we are going to begin with the lesson, new lesson, and it is a very interesting one, and here you are going to learn something new from this lesson. So students, so whatever taught in the class, keep maintaining a proper records in your fair notebooks and try to do revision. If you do more revision, more you going to learn from your teacher's teaching. All right. Okay. Let's begin with this what we have today in this textbook. Okay. What is moral action according to M.K. Gandhi? Here we have pre-dating activity. Honesty is the best policy. Do you agree? Discuss in pairs. Honesty is the best policy. So first word came out here in your pre-activity, which is honesty is best policy. Honesty is best policy. Yes. A person who used to speak honest in his life, and he is a honest person, humble person, and his quality will rise day by day according to his work, and he is not going to speak something lie in his life, then that person is recognized as a honest person, and he is never given a status of dishonesty. So he is never given a status of liar. That person is memorized by many number of people in this society, and that person is considered here good person because he is following the principle of honesty is the best policy. Okay, it is a small quote by the Gandhiji. So do you agree? Discuss in pairs. So here you have to discuss in pairs with your friends, with your elders, with your siblings that honesty is the best policy. Here your suggestion must added here in this discussion. So now let's begin with the lesson here with the first paragraph. So let's speak about a thought what Gandhiji told us. Okay, some basic thoughts, some basic principles of the Gandhiji I am taking here for you. Here we have, in a gentle way you can shake the world. See, Gandhiji taught us in a gentle way you can shake the world. Is it? Yes, very nice, very beautiful thought is this. If you go in a violent way, if you do oppression, if you do agitations, if we do strike, then no one is going to listen our words. If in a peaceful, in a non-violent way, in a peaceful manner, in a gentle manner, if you are going to express our thoughts, then everyone listen it. So here this thought is taken by a Gandhi that in a gentle way you can shake the world. We can shake the world, and we can give many examples like Gandhiji, Nelson Mandela, who didn't taken the path of violence. They went through a way of non-violence. That's why they are considered the father of the nation. Okay, father of the good thing. Understood? Now comes to another point, okay, of the principles of Gandhiji. So here you have another one. It's easy to stand in crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. Let's take this also. It easy to stand in crowd. It's easy to stand in crowd, but it takes courage, to stand alone. Understood, my dear students? Here many of you observed that many of your students were standing in a group. They will make a jokes in a group, and they used to tease the other students. So it is a bad thing. Let one of them come outside, and if you having any problem, you can ask. No, he is not going to ask. He is going to speak in the group. So he don't have any guts and any power or any courage to come out of the group and tell his thing. So there are very less people who can stand alone, okay, with all of the boldness and courageousness, and they can put their voice. No one. Here in this society you are going to find many number of people who will stand in the crowd and speak their voice. If you're standing in the crowd, everyone standing in the crowd, then no one is going to listen you, because 100 number of people having 100 number of views and no one is listened there. If a person is standing alone and he is speaking his view in front of anyone, then he can be listened here, okay, and his work can be considered, okay, his pleas can be considered here. So that's why Gandhiji given this thought for us. It easy to stand in crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. So students, these kind of great teaching what Gandhiji taught us, okay, and here we have one of the great extract related to this, which we will begin this, okay. So let's begin with the lesson here. All right students, so these kind of things should be written there in your fair notebook. Understood students? And these are the great teaching of the Gandhiji's what we have here. All right, so let's begin with the remaining extract. So students, here the first paragraph we have, when can it be said that a particular action is moral? When it is called a particular action is moral? When a moral action don't have any intention, don't have any expectation, and there is a service for the society, that action is called moral, as I told you earlier. So let's begin with this definition. What do you mean by moral? In asking this question, the intention is not to contrast moral with immoral action. Okay, the intention not to contrast with moral with immoral actions, but to consider many of our everyday actions against which nothing can be said from the conventional standpoint and which some regard as moral. Here what happens? The moral actions don't have any intention, don't have any expectation, don't have any needs. The moral action can be performed in such a silly manner where we are going to help the elders, but we don't accept something from the elders, then that action is called here moral action. But what is happening here with us in a daily life? We are doing something in our life like completing our homework, writing test, watching this video for learning something. For what purpose? For gaining something great in your life. If you are doing all these things as it is for gaining knowledge, if God knows what will happen with us, it depended on God. Is it there anyone? No, because everyone having some another kind of intention to do something great in their life, then that action is called not a moral action, it is immoral action. Let's say another example after reading this remaining paragraph. See, most of our actions are probably non-moral. They do not necessarily involve morality, okay. For the most part we act according to the prevailing conventions. Such conventional behavior is often necessary. In no such rules are observed, anarchy would be the result and social intercourse would come to an end. Still the mere observance of custom and usage cannot properly be called morality. So here what is happening in this world? What is happening here in this 21st century? Everyone are indulged in some intention. They having some intention. Okay. What another kind of intention they have? They having something intention from anything. Okay. What they are doing. In this world, what is happening? What is happening here in this world? We are living in the world of dictatorship, where a person is governed by a government, a person is governed by an authority. Okay, he have to listen what the authority will tell us. Here we have anarchy. Okay, here we have anarchy. Here we have to work under someone's authority. Here we have authority in this world. Okay, authority. All right. So what all these three words signifies? These three words goes to immoral action. These three words are immoral action. Okay, and it is included here in this first paragraph. See why they are immoral action. Here a dictatorship is performed, anarchy is performed, authority is performed. Dictatorship means something authority is coming and forcefully ruling the group of the peoples or the state, okay, due to some intention, then that authority or that military is called dictator group. And what do you mean by anarchy? Anarchy is nothing but it is a state of kingdom where anarchy is performed by the kingdom, where the king's explanation, where the king's rules and regulation, even laws are the final, then no one has to interfere there. Then anarchy is a part of dictatorship, we can say here. Now comes to authority. Authority is nothing but it is dictatorship or anarchy. Authority can be considered here military, can be considered here a group of people who are so dictator, who are so patriarchal, okay, who think about something in an old way, okay, these kind of things having their own intention from the peoples, okay, they are forcefully, okay, threatening the peoples for their own intention. They are not allowing the peoples to open their mouth to ask something else, okay, from them. So they are doing this for their own benefit. They having their own intention because they are performing immoral action. Is this immoral action taken away from our life? Yes, this should be taken away from our life, and it should be converted to some moral action. More moral action we will do, more we are going to fulfill our heart, fulfill our brain, fulfill our soul, because we don't have an intention behind that action. Peoples will memorize us, peoples will remember us when we will die. Yes, this person was there who is always helping to another persons, and that person have don't any intention, and that action is called moral action. Students, sometimes in our life moral action is important, but immoral action is also important. If you are going to do moral action, then people will take the use of it. If you are going to do immoral action, then no one is going to take use of it. Okay, everyone has to know, yes, this person is an immoral person and he is doing something for intention. So he can be limit his intention against us. Alright, so sometimes both are important in our life, but the most preference we have to give to the moral action here. Alright, okay, this is all about what we learned here in the first stanza. Let's say some examples about the moral action. If you are walking on the footpath, you are walking on the pedestrian way. Okay, a lady is there, an old lady, and she wants to cross the road, and she having chocolates and some gifts or toys, and you are a child. No one is going to help her to cross that road because no one having a time to help her to cross that road. But as a child, you are going to tuition and you also don't have a time, because if you get late, then master is going to be scold you, or he is going to give punishment. Then who is going to help that lady? She is too old, she couldn't able to see here and there instantly and cross the road because vehicles are coming so fastly, and she don't know and she don't have a sense of mind where to go or where to stop in between the road. So she want to cross the road, and she having some chocolates and gifts to give that person who helps her to cross that road. A person will come and ask that lady, "Ma'am, I will help you to cross that road, then what you will give me in exchange?" She tells, "Yes beta, I have a toffee and chocolates and I have a gift for you, let help me to cross that road." That person will say, "Yes, if you having something, then I am going to help you." Then that person helped that lady to cross that road, and that lady gave him chocolates and gifts. If another person is coming, in exchange of that person, another person is coming here, and she tells to, or he tells to lady, "Ma'am, I will help you to cross that road, and you are looking so old and you couldn't able to do this thing, so I will help you in this." Okay beta, help me, and in exchange I am going to give you gifts and chocolates. No ma'am, I don't want gifts and chocolates. I am going to help you because it's my passion, because it's my moral action, and I not accept anything from you. I don't have any intention from you. I will help you crossing the road. So be holding my hand and I will help you here. And that person take that lady to another side of the road and he help her to go to a home also. Okay, and he never accept anything from that lady, and that person is called a real moral person in his life. So students, whatever we are doing without any expectation and intention, then that thing is called moral action. Okay, let's say another example. You having some peers, you are friends, so everyone are doing daily homework and submitting it to the teachers, where teachers are going to check your homework. Then a time comes, what happens? Suddenly your friend will sick and he couldn't able to complete his homework and not able to come to the school. So what you are going to do? You are helping your friend by providing him a notes whatever taught in the class. Okay, in exchange you are asking your friend, whenever I will feel sick, whenever I will not go to school, then you have to complete my work and submit it to the school. Okay, you are demanding something from your friend. If in case you are not demanding anything and you are going to help your friend as it is without any intention, okay friend, you are sick today, you are not well, then in exchange I will complete your homework and submit to the teacher. In exchange you don't have to give something from to me. So it is a friendship. So it is a moral understanding in between two students. So this is thing what is happening here, a moral action where friend is nothing accepting something from his friend and there is no intention, no expectation, then that action is called here moral action. Understood students? So this is all about moral action. So it is spoke out here in your first paragraph. Now students, comes to the second one. What the second paragraph tells us about. Here, a moral act must be our own act, must spring from our own will. If we act mechanically, there is no moral content in our act. Such action would be moral if we think it proper to act like a machine and do so. For in doing so, we use our discrimination. We should bear in mind the distinction between acting mechanically and acting intentionally. See what happens. Some people are so clever. They are so clever and they know something different in their life. What they think, if that person wants to do something, then he have to act without any intention, without any thinking, without any expectation. See, something students are there in this class. They are helping the teachers or they are helping to the students. They knows once a day come, this friend is going to help me once a day. And at that time, I am going to ask a big help from him that no one is accept him. Okay, and in between I will help him daily notes, I will help him some materials, I will help him my assignment, I will help him to do something. Okay, I will help him to score something good. But a time comes, I will going to ask something great from him. So that person is also having intention, but he having long term intention, long term expectation, but not a short term expectation. And he is doing all those things mechanically. Internally, from his heart and from his mind, he is not attached with the moral action. He is away from the moral action and he is doing something here immoral because he having a long term intention, long term expectation. He want to do something here without any intention, without any expectation. That person is called moral action and that person is called a moral person. Here this student is immoral because he having some expectation, a long term expectation, not a short term but long term expectation. Understood? And he is doing because of mechanically. Here you are going to learn something new, okay, in the second paragraph. What you are going to learn in the second paragraph? There you are going to perform a discrimination. Here you have a discrimination in between heart and mind. Here you have a discrimination in between your heart and mind. Sometimes you're not so prepared that I want to help him, but you used to help him. By heart you don't want to help, but someone told you should help him because it's your moral thing, you have to help him. By mind you are helping, but by heart you are not helping. So what happens here? You became a machine. You become a machine. You don't want to help him or help her, but you are helping them. By heart you don't want, but mind you were forced by someone to help them. So this is called a discrimination in between heart and mind, and you become a mechanical moral person here. Understood, students? Okay, this is all about this extract. Okay, now comes to another one. We should bear in mind the distinction between acting mechanically but the messenger bearing the order of pardon plays only a mechanical part in the king's moral act. So what happens in the kingdom? When the person is taken to the prison, when the day comes that we have to hang him, okay, with the help of the rope, and here a person is standing beside to the hanging place, and he used to pull one big rod in the order of their king, then he have to do. So it is a moral action. He is doing some another saying, someone ordering him, and he is doing, but the fact is here he is killing a person here who did a guilty in his life, and here the life is taken by a person who is pulling that machine. So it is not a moral action, it can be considered here immoral action. He is following the order of his pardon, order of his king. That's why he is doing here. Or a person is kept in the prison with the help of the soldiers. Here soldiers don't want to keep him in the prison. If they are going to keep him in the prison, that person will die once a day. Are they going to take his life? No. No one is going to wants to do such a big crime in their life, but due to some order they are doing, some immoral action, then that action is called here immoral action. Okay, following someone's order, following someone's statement and doing something action is called immoral action, or that person called here mechanical person. Okay, in order of someone's they are doing. Understood? Now comes to remaining part of this paragraph. How can a man understand morality who does not use his own intelligence and power of thought, but lets himself be swept along like a log of wood by a current? Sometimes a man defies convention and acts on his own with a view to doing absolute good. Such a great hero was Wendell Phillips. So students, you have one great hero. Okay, let's say in the second paragraph, what is the name of this hero? Let's discuss about this. You have a Wendell Phillips. You have a Wendell Phillips. What he tells us here, Wendell Phillips is a person and he is a practitioner of advocate. Okay, he is a advocate. He is an advocate, a lawyer. He studied law, and he is such a person. He used to take the cases of poor peoples, and really he is intelligent. He is a talented one, and he don't want to make money. He don't want to build his fame. What he wants, he only wants satisfaction. He only wants satisfaction from his work. He only wants to develop his status. That's why he is taking the cases of the poor peoples and letting them win in the eyes of the justice, and that person is called such a great moral person here. So that's why Wendell Phillips is taken here in this extract as an example. What he is telling here, a person should flow along with the current. If you throw a wood in the river, that woodlog will flow as it is with the force of the current. If that woodlog is so arrogant, okay, he is so that unworthy person, then he will stand, okay, that woodlog will stand, okay, in front of the current of the rivers. If that woodlog don't want that, I don't want to stand in front of the current, my wood is getting cutted down with the force of the current, so it is a immoral action. If the person is flowing according to the society, okay, he is not objecting the society, he is not interfering in the good thing of the society, then that person is called here moral person. That person is called here moral acting person rather than immoral person. Understood, students? So this is all about in this paragraph. Okay, so here addressing an assembly of people, he once said, what Wendell Phillips said us, addressing an assembly of people, he once said, till you learn to form your own opinions and express them, I do not care much what you think of me. See here, you shouldn't follow the great people, you shouldn't follow the good persons. You have to show a goodness in you. What I want to change in me, that persons will memorize me. You have to follow the good persons, and I agree. Follow their good things, what they are doing daily. Okay, why the people are considering them a good person. You should follow that rather than following them. This Wendell Phillips is telling to the readers here, to the readers like me and you, he is telling that you should follow everything good in this life, okay, which help us to memorize by the people and which don't have any intention or expectation. So he is telling to their readers. Thus, when we all care only for what our conscience says, then alone can we be regarded to have stepped onto the moral road. See here what he is telling. If everyone do something what their heart tells, then everyone be considered that they are going in the moral road. Your heart will say, I want to become a rich person, I want to become a great person, or I have to purchase such a farm that everyone should take the benefit of it. I want to do something great that everyone should see me and they will praise me, or they will join hands in front of me, that I want to become a richer. So everyone having their own intention. If they are following this intention, that everyone can be considered a moral action or moral person. No, it's not like that. A person who is different from another, who is doing such a work that it's not having any moral action, it's not having any immoral action, but he is doing something good moral for the society, then that only person is walking on the moral road. Okay, we shall not reach this stage as long as we do not believe and experience the belief that God within us, the God of all, is the ever-present witness to all our act. There is one God who is witnessing each and everything in this universe. A person who is doing good, it is observed by the God. A person who is doing wrong, and it is also observed by the God. So here Wendell Phillips is giving us a threat of God, that if you're not afraid of anyone, just please afraid of the God. Okay, a spiritual power that God has, and do according to that, and don't do any wrong. If you do not doing any wrong, then you can be considered here moral person. If you are having any intention or expectation, it's good, but it is not harming to the society, then that action can be considered here moral action. Understood, student? This is all about in the first two paragraphs of the lesson. So students, in the coming hours or in the coming videos, I will take the remaining paragraphs of this lesson. For the time being, take care of yourself and have a nice day.